to you from my beautiful wife, my damsel, my queen, my angel. She's a Nigerian, even though she's not here, but if you see my wife, you know I'm talking the right thing, I'm saying the right thing. She's so beautiful, like she's beautiful. You need to see my wife, guys. And today, my assignment is so simple. The African dream. African youth in diaspora, an untapped resource for innovative solutions, social entrepreneurship, and sustainable economic development in Africa. I want you to think about this. If there is one thing you could change in Africa, as in your various countries, what would that be? Think about it. Don't even answer me. Think about it. I've come to a conclusion that we have three major problems in Africa. Poor leadership, corruption and poverty, religious hypnotism. Let's start with poor leadership. There is no gainsaying that we need a new breed of leaders in Africa, of which you're one. Our leaders, present leaders, have really dragged Africa into the mud of poverty. They've dragged us into the state of economic decay. And we are the ones who will rescue Africa. The present African leaders have impoverished Africa, and we have become the poverty headquarters of the world. George Orwell, in his words, said, "A people who elect corrupt politicians, impostors, thieves, and traitors are not victims, but accomplices." Do you know that over $1 trillion is stolen yearly by African leaders and hidden in local and international accounts? Plato said, and I quote, "One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors." And I believe those leaders are not smarter than us. So it is time for the youth to rise and take the bull by the horn. Incompetent leadership in Africa is not only the problem of people who occupy political positions. It is the reflection of the society. As a matter of fact, leadership is the reflection of our culture. Permit me to use this illustration. Africa is like an aircraft being flown by pilots that did not go to school or flying. When the plane crashes, everyone blames the pilot. The need for leaders with exceptional character and skills is critical to African development. In one of my quotes, I said, "The caterpillars destroying Africa are the square pegs in the round holes of our leadership structure." The hounds of leadership does not rest in the hands of the wicked African leaders, but in our hands. I said, mismanagement of African resources is as a result of poor leadership. How many of you will agree with me that Africa is not poor? Africa is only mismanaged. When I see the gold mine in Congo, the petroleum in Nigeria, and some other African countries with great natural resources, my heart aches. When I see little kids in the street, majority of our kids are not going to school, all kids in the street. Recently I visited Nigeria and I wept. We have master's degree holders, PhD holders as bus conductors or bus drivers. That means our current leaders don't value education. And it is time for us to use what we know as international students, because of what? You guys are exposed. You are smart. You know what it takes to make a country work. It is time for us to hijack that government in our various countries, because if you are not provoked, I am provoked. Africa should no longer be one of the third nation or third world continents. No. because we got what it takes to lead the world. The highest form of poverty, now I'm on the second point, is the poverty of the mind. But the poverty level in Africa is a thick darkness that has engulfed the entire continent, from the north to the east, to the south, to the west. It has blocked people's senses of reasoning. According to the World Economy Post on September 24, 2018, they stated that Africa doesn't need charity from the Western nations. It needs good leadership from the younger generation. They get loans from Western nations that they will never pay back. And we are going into another realm of colonialism in Africa. If you are not sad, I am sad. Dr. Heidi Shah said, and I quote, "When I think about my motherland, Africa, I have sleepless nights. A land full of wealth, yet its children full of hunger." Sadly, poverty and corruption are the fastest growing economy in Africa, including religion, which we're going to talk about. It is not an understatement or an exaggeration to say that Africa is the most blessed continent in the world. That is not an understatement, and that's a fact. But the misappropriation of our wealth by the few elected or self-imposed leaders have rendered us poor and unprogressive. Professor Patrick Lumumba said, and I quote, "I held a 250 town hall meeting during my campaign. I brought up solutions to our problems in my constituencies. My opponent did not campaign. He just shared money to everyone a day to election. He won." That means most Africans are not moved by ideas, but they are moved by money. Number 3, religious hypnotism. Joshua K. said, "Africa's greatest problem is not only poor leadership, poverty, or corruption. Religion has also played some damaging role in Africa. There are so many Africans who think they can overcome poverty, corruption, and bad leadership by just praying. Prayer doesn't change corruption. It doesn't change bad leadership. While other nations of the world are inventing new things, sending their students to school to study sciences, Africa is busy doing night vigils and praying for God to come down and transform the continent. It will never work. Life is governed by laws and principles, and if properly obeyed and followed, it will work for anybody and any nation. And that's why you see some countries who don't even believe in God, they are thriving. Why Africa? We have churches everywhere, especially when you visit my country, Nigeria. You will know that the fastest growing economy is religion, and it's not helping. Our dream Africa. Our dream Africa is an Africa where things work. Africa with a good working system in place, thereby creating an enabling environment for people and businesses to thrive. We cannot successfully sustain the economic development in Africa without engaging in social entrepreneurship, which comes by innovations and a collective participation in government. They used to say, politics is a dirty game. But I want to let you know, politics remain dirty because we, the so-called clean ones, refuse to join politics and make change and effect. If we leave the dirty people to keep running the politics, then they will keep making laws that will affect your life and will affect your generations yet unborn. It is time for us to arise and awaken the giant within us. Because if we don't, our children will ask us, "Dad, what were you doing when things were going wrong in Africa?" I do not want to hand over this present Africa to my unborn kids before I go into the great beyond. Before I die, I want to hand over an Africa that works. And that should be your dream. Dreaming is never enough, African dream. Dream remain dream if nothing is done to bring it into reality. You can dream to become a pilot, but you have to go to school to acquire the necessary wisdom, knowledge, and training to become a pilot. So we can sit down here and talk about African dreams, but if all of us refuse to do something, then nothing will be done. The dream will only just be dreamed. It is time for us to arise and make the change happen in our lifetime. Dreams are good, but they are better off when you put effort to bring them into reality. Our dream Africa will only remain in the dream realm if we do nothing to actualize it. How will you come in to build Africa? You being in one of the developed nations in the North American continent is a privilege. Just imagine if North America continent or the Asia continent have done nothing to improve their continent, where would we run to? Our people in Nigeria, the young people from Africa, they are dying in the Mediterranean Sea just to run away from their homeland to seek green pastures. Well, may I disappoint you? That green pasture is non-locational. You can thrive and succeed anywhere in the world.
That's right.
How to help build Africa? Start with one person. You might not have the ability to build a school, but you can sponsor a child to school. You might not have the ability to build large hospitals, but you can pay the bill of that woman laying down there without money. You might not have the best cars, but you can help people transport kids to school with your money, because why? You are in America and you know how the thing works. It is time for us to think Africa first. Because when I see Americans, what they say is God bless America. But most of us in Africa, we curse our continent.
True.
Most of us want to run away from our continent. And there's no place like home. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
There is no place like home. No matter how successful you are outside Africa, don't forget home. That is why I go back home oftentimes, sometimes 3 times in a year. Let us feel the connection. Yes, it is true. We need not to forget our origin. African proverb used to say, a stream that forgets its origin will do what? Will dry up. Start with one person. Number 2, invest into human beings. Invest into agriculture. Invest into the youth in Africa, because they are seeing you as a rising star. Be their role models. And that is what I do. I speak in conferences all over Nigeria, just to encourage you that the green pasture you think in your mind is a myth. You can survive on the soil of Africa. Aliko Dangote did it. So many of our leaders did it. So your success is not attached to any location. You can be in America and still be poor. Or you can be in Africa and thrive and succeed. I want you to have a change of mindset today. Now, it doesn't matter where you find yourself. Always live in your purpose. People back home are thriving. So don't give up on Africa yet. And that is the Africa of our dream. Number 3, use your expertise to improve the technology development in Africa. You have the best education here in America, and I want you to know that you need to use that expertise to invest back home in the life of our young people. And number 4,